Stop memorizing grammar rules. Yeah, you heard me right. Stop memorizing grammar rules. Grammar is not something that you memorize, guys. It is something that you gotta learn and also use. That's the best way to learn English grammar, by using it. So never memorize English grammar rules. Try to use grammar as much as you can. That's what you gotta do. And in today's video, I'm gonna be showing you all the possible ways of learning English grammar the right way, and the things that you got to avoid as seriously as you can, like the plague, in order to learn English grammar practically. So let's get started. I know most of you guys are tired of learning English grammar. There could be several reasons. One reason is you don't like to learn English grammar because you believe learning English grammar is boring or difficult to do, and you have every right to think so. And the second reason could be you've learned so much English grammar, but the problem is you don't really know how to use all these grammatical structures that you've learned. Again, you have every right to think that learning English is pointless or boring, or, there's no point in doing so. But keep in mind that as long as you don't learn English grammar, you will not be able to form English sentences, then you will not be able to form dialogues and conversations. So learning English grammar is something that you need to take seriously. And if you learn English grammar the right way, you can guarantee your success in English, to say the least, in forming beautiful and well-structured English sentences. I know most of you just open your textbooks, grammar books, and start having a look at the charts and graphs and the sentences, or you have a look at the grammar formulas, the structures and sentences, then you start memorizing the grammar rules. That's not how learning English grammar works. The best way to learn English grammar is by looking at how the grammatical structure that you want to learn is used in real English. How can you do so? Well, focus on one specific grammar separately from all the other grammatical structures that you want to learn. Focus on one grammatical structure separately from all the others, and try to have a look at all the examples of that grammatical structure that you want to learn in the form of sentences. So focus on sentences rather than the formula. You shouldn't memorize the formula or the structure of the grammatical point that you want to learn. Let's say you want to learn the grammar of used to. So do not just memorize the formula of used to, like subject plus used to plus the simple forms of verbs. Do not just memorize the formula, or do not just memorize the fact that used to is used to talk about past habits. Try to learn used to by looking at the sentences made with this grammatical structure. Have a look at 5 sentences in which used to has been used, and see how this structure can change its form from one sentence to another. And have a look at all the patterns in which this structure is used. Then that way you can learn English better. That way you're exposing your mind to patterns, not pressure. Because our mind can learn English better when it is exposed to patterns, not pressure. So memorizing structure, grammatical rules, puts your mind under pressure, and your mind will never deeply learn grammatical structures under pressure. So try to expose your mind to grammatical patterns. How? By exposing it to sentences in which the grammatical structures that you want to learn have been used. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to learn conditional structures. Instead of memorizing the formula of conditional structures, if plus the simple past tense, then would, could, might, instead of memorizing the structures or the formulas, try to look at the sentences in which conditional structures have been used, and try to learn the pattern of those sentences and the patterns of the grammatical structures that you want to learn. And that way, you can learn the grammatical structure of conditional structures much better, because always keep in mind that our brain is looking for stories, not words, not structures, not formulas, patterns and stories. The more you expose your brain to patterns and stories, the more deeply it can learn the grammatical structures or the words that you want to learn. So this is a strategy that you need to use to be able to meet with success when it comes to learning English grammar. Something important that you can do is you can start watching YouTube videos or movies or any sort of visual content on the internet and pause the video sentence by sentence and analyze these sentences in terms of the grammatical structures used in them. Let's say in the video the speaker says, "When I was younger, I used to smoke a lot." So, when I was younger, I used to smoke a lot. Then you can see the grammatical structure of used to used in the sentence said by the speaker. Then that way your mind can connect with the meaning of used to and also how it's used in real English, rather than just have to learn the grammatical structure of it or the formula of it. Because when you just learn the formula or the structure without knowing how to use those structures in real life, in real English conversations, chances are that those structures and formulas will go clean out of your mind soon. Clean out of your mind. This is something that I can guarantee. So watch YouTube videos or watch content in the form of videos on the internet, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, anywhere on the internet. And analyze these sentences that they use in terms of or from the perspective of the grammatical structures used in them. That way, your mind can adapt to picking up the grammatical structures, learning the grammatical structures practically and profoundly, and not just superficially by memorizing some structures and formulas. That's not how learning English grammar works. Or something else that you can do is, when you want to focus on grammar, choose the topic that you want to learn. Let's say conditionals, the perfect tenses, the past tenses, participle clauses, relative clauses. It could be any topic of grammar. Choose one specific topic, focus on the topic by making sentences with the formulas and structures. Never memorize the structures and formulas. Try to make as many sentences as you can with those structures and formulas. The more sentences you make, the more your mind will get used to using those structures and formulas to form sentences and form structures. In other words, the more your mind will get used to using those grammatical structures. And take a note of all those sentences and try to review those sentences that you've made with that specific grammatical structure on a daily basis. Let's say on Saturday, you start learning the grammatical structure of used to, you make some sentences with it, and you review the sentences on Saturday. On Sunday, you learn conditionals, you make sentences, you review the sentences. On Monday, you learn participle clauses, you make sentences, you review the sentences on the same day. And on the next day, you learn the other grammatical topics and subjects, you make sentences with them, you review the sentences. And finally on Friday, you review all the sentences that you've made with all the grammatical structures and the different grammatical subjects of the previous week. That way your mind can get used to using those grammatical structures in real conversations, in real dialogues, and in speech, rather than just have to memorize formulas and structures. So make sentences each and every single day, review those sentences on the same day, and finally, at the weekend, try to review all the sentences that you've made with all the different grammatical structures and subjects that you just learned the previous week. That's how learning English grammar works. So learning English grammar is not just memorizing formulas and structures, it is using what you learn. So when you get to the point at which you focus on using what you learn, that means you're learning English the right way, or the way you should, the way that you can actually take advantage of what you're learning to better your English. And that's about all, guys. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you like this video in support of your YouTube English teacher. Thank you for doing so, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll be back soon with another video.